Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are my teachers. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity, and a hearty shalom to the believers out there who's believing on the words of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. I woke up this morning just meditating and thinking about the signs of the times and how close we are to the end. You know, thinking how this ministry, the ministry of the prophets, the ministry of Yahweh Shai, the testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy, has brought us so close to the end. You know, and you can tell we're at the end because of the signs. That lets you know that the elect is almost sealed and it's almost time to get out of here. But this feat was accomplished by the words of Yahweh by Shah going out on a mass scale. And how was that accomplished? Well, it was accomplished through what? The World Wide Web, or the internet. Okay? It was prophesied that know for a surety, Yahweh Shai said, know for a surety that you would have gone over all the cities of Jerusalem, or Salaka, the cities of Israel. Matter of fact, let's go get that. Let's go to Matthew 10 and 23. But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. You see? So he had already prophesied that you're not going to be able to go all over the cities of Israel, where Israelites are, you know, until the Son of Man be come. So how would this be accomplished of what he said in Matthew 24 and 14? Matter of fact, let's go get it and read it. Because he said, this gospel of the kingdom, right? This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Why all nations? Because the Israelites were scattered into all nations due to the curses, right? And then shall the end come, you see? So he lets you know that this gospel has to be preached around all the world, and then the end is going to come. But he said physically, you're not going to be able to go over all the cities of Israel until you're not going to be able to go over all the cities of Israel before he comes back. So this feat is being accomplished through what? The internet, the World Wide Web. Okay? Scriptures just tell you that Yahweh Shai has created all things. Matter of fact, let's go get that. And that's the things that you see, the things that you don't see, the things that are gonna come. Okay? Where it says his incorruptible spirit is in all things. Matter of fact, let's go get that first. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. And then we'll go back to Colossians. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse 1. For thine incorruptible spirit is in all things. What does that mean? It means Yahweh Shai is in your shoes. He's in your clothes. Why? Because he commissioned Yahweh Shai to create all things. Let's go prove that. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 1 and verse 16. For by him were all things created. See? All things. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones, rulerships, right? Or dominions, or principalities, or powers. All things were created by him and for him. You see that? All things were created by him and for him. And that includes what? The internet, the World Wide Web, man. All right? The apparatus that Yahweh Shah chose to do the heavy lifting, all right, to forward the ministry of the prophets so the elect might be sealed. Okay, let's go to the book of Daniel. This is Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. And that's how you know we're at the end, because what? The books have been opened, right? And the spiritual fountain is being poured out over all the earth. Okay? Let's read this again. Daniel 12 and 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. You see that? Knowledge shall be increased. By what? By the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah through the internet, man, through the web. Okay? Matter of fact, let's look up that I want to see what it says. Define World Wide Web. Let's see what it says.
World Wide Web.
World Wide Web. An information system on the internet which allows documents to be connected to other documents by hypertext links, enabling the user to search for information by moving from one document to another. You see that? Let's go back to the scriptures. This is Daniel 12 and 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book. Yeah, these different texts, right? Even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. You see that? It's being increased through the World Wide Web, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah. Because his spirit are gathering the elect, man. Okay? Read that in Baruch 5 and 5, right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra. And Esau thought that the World Wide Web was for putting up cat videos and folly. And, you know, no, it was set up by Yahweh, by Hashem Shai, to bring forth his work, okay? To seal the elect of the children of Israel, that we might get out of here, man. All right? So this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 20. And when the world shall begin to vanish away, shall be finished. Let's read this again. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens, yeah, these signs, right? The books shall be open before the firmament. You see that? The books are now open before the firmament. What's the firmament? The firmament is what's over heaven. All right? Where it's basically where the satellites dwell, right? And they shall see all together. They shall see all together. How are you able to see all together? By way of the internet, the World Wide Web. Okay? When a brother upload a epistle or go live, you're able to see all together, right? In a deeper spiritual meaning, all right? You're all seeing eye to eye. You're all speaking one thing, okay? That's for the believers out there who's believing on the pure doctrine, the true doctrine of Yahweh Bashar Shah, all right? And it is 100% truth, and we do have it, okay? Because the scriptures say we will have it. All right? And if you don't believe that, then you don't believe in the words of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, okay? Let's go to the book of Romans. And it's a beautiful feat that Yahweh Shah has set up. All right? This is Romans chapter 10. And let's start at verse 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Now your wacky Christians will run to the middle of the book of Romans and say, see. You read Romans, I believe it's 1 and 7. It says, to the strangers in Rome, all called to be saints. Well, who are the strangers? The Israelites scattered into Rome. Who are the saints? The Israelites. Pursuing to what? Psalms 148 and 14. Psalms 50 and 5. Those who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Okay? So, this whosoever being spoken of in Romans 10 is addressed to the Israelites. Okay? Verse 14. How then shall they call upon him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him in whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? You see? And how shall they preach except they be sent? You see? Okay? Now, Yahweh Shai said, you've not chosen me, but I've chosen you. That's how the men, the true men of Yahweh Shai are sent. The Lord sent them. Okay? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. Yeah. That this kingdom, this wicked kingdom that we're currently in, this age, this eon, is going to be over with. Okay? That's the gospel of peace. The good news. Okay? Verse 16. But they have not all obeyed the gospel. For Elias saith, Lord, who have believed our report? So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High. You see that? So it's the word of the Most High that brings faith, all right, that we know that these things are true. But we heard these things through what? The internet, okay? Verse 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. You see that? Well, you got camps in Italy. You got camps in Germany. You got camps in Holland. You got camps in Australia, New Zealand. Okay? Even in Japan, man. All right? You got brothers waking up in Japan. Why? Through the World Wide Web. Let's read this again. But I say, through the word, let's qualify that, through the World Wide Web and the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashai Shai, his words being spoken. Okay? Let's read this again. Romans 10 and 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the end of the world. You see that? So, yeah, this truth has went out, being accomplished through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashai Shai by way of the internet. Okay? Let's go to Psalms. Psalms 19 and verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. What is that talking about, man? It's talking about these video epistles being loaded up over the clock. And through the Spirit, Yahweh Shai put it on Elder Apostle Ha, okay, to declare, do a video a day, man. Why? Because it's ramping up. We're almost at the end. We're almost at the finish line. All right? And through the Spirit is to make your calling and election sure. If you do these things, you will never fail, right? Let's read this again. Psalms 19 and 2. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. You see that? And their line is gone throughout all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. Yeah, man. Okay? And that's plain. If you have eyes to see and ears to hear. All right? This line that has went out throughout all the earth is the World Wide Web. Okay? And it's the works of who? Yahweh Bahashal Shah. Let's go to Job. Job chapter 39 and verse 9. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee or abide by thy crib? Now, who uses the word crib, man? Your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right? That's the slang that we always use, man. Okay? Now, what is the unicorn? Well, if you look at any satellite dish, it has something called a feed horn, okay, which receive and send signals, where you're able to receive your internet signal, okay, and send out internet signals, okay. Let's read this again. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee? Yeah. Will it be willing to serve you while you're doing these uploads, okay, while you're watching these different video epistles, right? Or abide by thy crib? Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band? Yeah, those wave bands, right? In his furrow? Or will he harrow the valleys after thee? Will thou trust him because his strength is great? Yeah, your signal, man. You can be out in the wilderness, and if you got a strong signal on your phone, you can look at the GPS on the phone and you can find your way back home, right? Will thou trust him because his strength is great? Or wilt thou leave thy labor to him? You see that? Wilt thou believe him that he will bring home thy seed and gather it into thy barn? What's that talking about, man? Well, the remnant, okay, the brother of Rome, head of the Birmingham camp here, all right, he goes into often. This word seed literally means remnant, man. Okay? The remnant would be gathered into the what? The barn. All right? And we read about that in the parable in Matthew 13, right? Let's read this again. Wilt thou believe him that he will bring home thy seed and gather it into thy barn? We're being what? Gathered by the word of the Holy One. Now, I quoted that scripture earlier. Let's go get it now. Well, I brought it up. I didn't quote it. This is Baruch chapter 5 and verse 5. Arise, O Jerusalem. Yeah, awake. It says what? We read in Daniel that knowledge is going to be increased. But you read earlier that men are going to awake. Matter of fact, let's go get that right quick. Let's go back to Daniel 12. This is Daniel 12 and 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. Yeah, we were in confusion at one point in time, thinking we're African Americans, thinking we're Latinos, right? Thinking we're Puerto Ricans, okay? Thinking we're Jamaicans. And many of them shall sleep in the dust of the earth, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. You see that? So when we read here in Baruch 5, arise, wake up, O Jerusalem, and stand on high, and look about, and look toward the east, and look about toward the east, and behold thy children gathered from the west unto the east by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the remembrance of the Most High. You see that? So we're being gathered by what? The words of Yahweh by Shah through the internet. Okay? This has been the web. Lord willing, it's been edifying and comforting. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity and a hearty shalom. To the believers out there who's believing on the words of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, coming at you with a lesson. Till the next time I say, shalom.